We are a large and growing district, and as I mentioned, we're 17th largest in the state. Now that fact alone brings certain challenges. The district receives 54% of its funding from the state. Because of the challenge in state funding, because of the change in the state funding formula last year, we did take a hit and we lost $2 million with this new formula. That's kind of how we all look that day. We recognize that fewer and fewer dollars is a way of life for business, and we are no different. And so that's why we here do more with less. But in light of this, nationally, the economy continues to stagnate. The country has been in a downward spiral since 2008, and here in Ohio, it's even worse. Unemployment is in double digits, and the state budget is nearly insolvent. There are storm clouds looming over the state government. The Ohio Constitution requires a 2-year balanced budget be passed each odd number year. The legislature did technically pass a balanced budget in 2009. Now I say technically because it was only balanced because of the billions in one-time federal stimulus funds and other monies distributed to the states around the country. And then some of those dollars went to schools. It is clear, absolutely clear, that these federal dollars will drop off the cliff in 2012. And the prop of the state budget will be gone. It appears that the state faces what truly looks like a budget crisis next year, along with the dual threat of continued increasing cost with less revenue. That is a very difficult situation for any legislature. Here in Pickerington, we are seriously committed to providing quality education for students. In a recent survey of Pickerington residents, 70% of those polled believe that the district is headed in the right direction. Now, I've talked all evening about what your child faces in the competition ring in the job market. We are committed to ensuring that they can compete. On top of that, we're just as committed to being careful stewards of hard-earned tax dollars that locally funds your child's education. We have a relentless focus on cost. And over the last several years, we've reduced the budget nearly $4 million. We use a number of systems to evaluate cost. And we have many examples of how seriously we take this responsibility. Some show really large savings, and others are quite small. But this little example makes my point. Harmon Middle School collected from its donors 86 tons of paper, and they earned $1,344.29. This might be small bean counting to some of you, but it shows that every penny counts in the budget. With all of the savings we've created, unfortunately, it is not enough to cover the budget gap expected to come our way in 2012. And at some point, we're going to have to talk about this. Another factor that does drive the budget are changing expectations from both federal and state mandates. At my last count, there were over 60 unfunded or underfunded mandates. This year was a particularly unprecedented year of educational change and new requirements. For example, there is a new unfunded mandate for all-day kindergarten. This new expectation rolled around about in July of 2009. Without any long-term implementation strategy, it is to take effect next year. We do not have the room, nor do we have the money to implement this type of rushed, unfounded regulation this quickly. It's not a legislation, it's a regulation. Additionally, within the next few years, the Ohio 10th grade graduation test that all your kids have been worried about will be replaced. And it's going to be replaced with an end-of-a-course exam in core subjects in high school, along with a nationally standardized test for all students. The mandated Ohio graduation test, which we call fondly the OGT, when that was implemented, high schools were required to do that. Now, it's being rebuffed as, quote, having nothing to do with college readiness. I think you get my point. Every school district has its own DNA, and school districts' needs are not the same. It is my strong belief that there must be better alignment of mandates, balanced with a careful review of high needs and high priorities for each individual school district. Not every mandate, funded or unfunded, fits every district. If districts are asked to do more with less, then more unfunded mandates cannot continue to drive the bottom line.